Welcome to silence time, apparently.
I was trying to outweigh you guys.
Yeah, I was trying to too, but I was like, they're going to think their shit's broke.
Everybody's looking at their phone like, what the fuck happened? That's a pretty good intro. It's hard to believe that you actually made that, Adam.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's good.
You'll never guess where the sample's from.
Where's the sample from?
It is an Ariana Grande song.
Oh, I was going to say your dick.
Oh,
yeah, that's what
can I change my answer?
Yes.
Yes, change it.
The sample is from my dick.
There you go.
I would let Ariana Grande do whatever she wanted to my dick. So.
Well, I think she already does do what she wants to do to your dick.
Fair enough. But Adam, she doesn't do anything to my dick. Oh, you guys.
Oh, wait a minute. You're saying she doesn't want to do anything to...
I had like 50 things I had planned on talking about on the podcast this evening, but I have ADHD, so I honestly can't remember any of them. So.
I watched 2 movies the other night.
Well, good for you.
All right.
I had a life realization today, if you want to hear it.
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, you watch a movie and you got the hero and there's a building or a location or something that's going to go blow up. They have to go somewhere and they defuse a bomb, and they always defuse it within the last 10 seconds, and they usually get it stopped with 1 second on it, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to do that. The closest I'm going to come, I had happened to me today because I went and ate Taco Bell.
Wait a minute. Today was the closest day you came?
Shopping. Yeah. Well, not today, but this type of instance is as close as I'm going to come. I went to Taco Bell before I went shopping, so I wouldn't be hungry when I went shopping. And I was all the way in the back of the store, and the restrooms are in the front of the store, and I had to hurriedly make my way to the front of the store while my biological timer was counting down. So that's as close as I'm ever going to come to that.
Before you came.
I usually try to see how far I can come, not how close I can come.
Kind of what I was thinking, but so you came in a grocery store bathroom.
No, I destroyed it. Well, and see, also along those same lines, I'm never going to slow walk away from an explosion, but I can slow walk away from a bathroom I destroyed.
Of cum.
with your cum.
I
was wondering why when I look up Doug's address on the Watchdog site, it shows up as a red dot.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
It's because he goes into bathrooms and destroys them with cum. Sounds like the weirdest porn movie ever. But I'm not going to kink shame anybody. So
it's his trademark. It's like when every criminal has like a little calling card they leave.
I leave like 16 gallons of DNA.
Cum everywhere.
Yeah, that's not a calling card. That's I'm just saying.
This was the cum bandit.
Doug's just like, aha, you'll never catch me. I need a nap. So Adam, what movies did you watch yesterday? Because, why not?
I watched a movie called X, and I watched a movie called Pearl, and they like go together. Like Pearl is like a prequel to X.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 little indie movies from A24, and they were good. It's like it's a cheesy horror kind of thing, but they were pretty good. I liked them.
Sometimes the
nuts.
Low budget flicks are better because they can't rely on special effects and CGI. And if you've ever watched behind the scenes stuff on the all the Marvel movies, it's just them in these giant green screen rooms.
Just
Like,
making the movie in the computer.
just yeah. I mean, the buildings, they're in buildings, and the buildings aren't even fucking real. The hallways aren't even real. It's all CGI, and
Yeah.
that's neat once in a while, but you start to lose substance, I think, at a certain point. Um, A24. I've seen a few of their movies. They make pretty good stuff. So
Yeah, they made that new The Whale with
yeah, Brendan
Homeboy.
Fraser. Yeah,
Yeah, him. Yes. That's
I
supposed to be
grew up.
really good. I haven't seen it yet though.
You know, I can't think of anything Brendan Fraser has done that I didn't enjoy. Now, notice that I did not say wasn't a good movie, because he did George of the Jungle and shit like that. I grew up, I don't remember what year Encino Man came out, but like that was kind of his claim to fame, if I remember. And
Early 90s.
yeah, I would have been in my late teens, early
Let's
20s, and
see.
it was funny. And then of course The Mummy, I think, is where he really kind of picked up steam. But he was always just one of those guys that seemed like he'd be a good dude. Like you wanted to go get a beer with him. So,
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that you actually like to leave the house and be around people, which I don't. But if I did, I'd want to go have a beer with him. So, you know, I'd love to play an online game with him while sitting in my own home,
With our
away from
mics turned
people.
off.
And the computers. Basically, fuck you, Brendan Fraser. That's what I'm saying. Great
I was
guy, but fuck you.
I was thinking about something funny the other day, and I don't know what made me think about it. I think I was just looping on unimportant stuff in my head.
Mhm. Because you too have
So,
ADHD.
yeah. So what if you got stuck in the woods in the middle of like a national park and you got lost? You had to build like a shelter and like hunt and survive for a few weeks until they found you.
This is a big park.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I think
but go ahead.
national parks, when Roosevelt put them in place, basically laid out that it had to be a certain area that, and it was in relation to hiking. It was some ridiculous shit like 10 days across or something.
Hell yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, not necessarily a national park, just a
right.
big span of wilderness where no one's finding
Big old span.
you. Right. So you hunt and you
I can
survive.
see your cheeks right now. Just in my head,
So
I can
they
see your
find
cheeks.
So they send a rescue team after you, and they finally find you. Right? They show up
Mhm.
with a park ranger, and he slaps you with like a $37,000 fine for
Mhm.
poaching and hunting without a
Yeah,
permit because you
fucking
didn't
things
get.
at you. I'm sorry. What was there a? Where
Oh,
was
that
that?
was it. I just think that'd be so funny if like you fought so hard to try to get out, and then they're like, yeah,
It
but
was a scenario. I thought we were going somewhere with that. Like it was a question
no,
or
no, no,
something
no
like that.
question. I was just thinking about that would be the most American thing that could happen.
It definitely if I saw that on the
America.
news, if I saw that on the news, I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be like, oh wow, they hit him with fines. I'd be like, yeah, it sounds about right. So did you guys hear about the guy? I think it was in Texas, shocker of all places, where dude comes in and he robs a little diner or something like that, and a patron of the diner pulls out a gun, kills the kid dead. Right? Turns out the gun that the kid had, the robber, was fake. It was like an
Yeah.
airsoft gun, and the guy that shot him leaves, and he lawyers up before he like lets the cops know who he is or where he is, and that is like, why would you leave? Why you need to wait for the cops, right? So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Um,
Probably because it's Texas and he knows what the cops are going to do. They're just going to come in and start shooting through the front of the store. And he's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here before
And
they
just
fuck
start
this up.
shooting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that he got a lawyer before even. And really, though,
I mean, that's illegal to just shoot someone and then leave, even if it was
it's the leaving part.
self-defense.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the leaving part. You're leaving the scene of an incident, of a crime, whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. My guess is that they'll drop those charges, and he'll walk away. And I mean, it was interesting because under the article, people have comments, they have opinions, and they're all, oh, you can't just shoot someone, for because they were robbing the place or whatever. And no, but if the guy had a gun, even if it was an airsoft gun, and you didn't know that, you know, um, deadly force might be, because you don't know. After he gets everything and walks towards the door, he might turn and just plug 3 or 4 people for shits and giggles. Um,
Well, to be fair, it's Texas and it's not California.
well, and that's exactly, and that is my expectation. Well, that colors my expectation. Let me put it that way. Right. If it were California or even the Midwest where it might be semi-neutral, but the only thing I can think of is they'll fine him for not shooting him enough times, or something
You
like
didn't
that.
even, dude. I saw the video. He shot him 9 times.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he shoots him 2 times, and then
Wow.
he falls down, and then the guy walks up to him while he's laying on the ground
No, he didn't.
and shoots him 6 or 7 more times. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Now see, that changes it, right?
yeah,
Because once he put the 2 in him and he incapacitates him, that'll be curious to see. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why he
That's
left. That's why he left and went and got a lawyer before he turned himself in. He
I
knew
would
what
say
he
so. Yeah,
he
that
knew
makes
he
sense.
fucked up. Yeah, he knew he fucked up. So, and that is a shame because the kid might have lived. I mean, I don't know where he put the first 2 shots, but kick kid's gun away, and maybe he'd have lived. But at the same time, I think it was Charles Darwin who coined the phrase "fuck around and find out."
Yes,
So,
he came up with the theory of
fuck
fuck around and
aroundering.
find
Yeah,
yeah the
I'm
fuck
pretty
around
fuck
the fuck around
aroundering.
theory.
Yeah, the fuck around theory. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
widely attributed to Darwin.
Yes.
it's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. So yeah, there's a part of me that I can see both sides of the story, and I like to think I'm good at that in general, but either that or I'm just incredibly wishy washy. But I can see where part of me would say, well, I mean, you put 2 in him, kick the gun, and call an ambulance. But then the other part of me says, well, if you walk into an establishment and you perpetrate that you have a firearm and that you will do bodily harm to people if they don't give you what you want, that is the definition of fucking around. Getting shot 9 times is, again, the definition of finding out. So
Yeah,
I believe as we discussed once before, Adam, his pronouns became was and were very quickly.
that is your new favorite thing, huh?
Dude, that was the funniest fucking thing. Look, I'm very open minded, but I do get a little irritated with the whole pronoun thing. Oh no, they're going to cancel me. I'd have to actually, be something to be canceled. But yeah, we were playing a video game and some shit went down, and Adam or our buddy Robbie, somebody plugs this guy from across the fucking screen, and Adam just says, well, his pronouns are was and were. And I just thought that was funny as fuck. So, yeah,
That's pretty good shit.
it was funny.
I mean,
So,
it got a fucking chuckle out of me. I mean, but the whole damn pronouns thing. I mean, basically, if you're going to address someone correctly at first, you have to guess what's in your head. I've had to do that
yeah.
enough with most ladies my entire life to try to keep them from being angry, and I'm not terribly good at it. So, it's like I'm going to need, give me the cheat code, give me the cheat sheet. What do you want me to call? I'll just call you a fucking person.
Well, and
Hello,
I
person.
do
I'm
you
not a
guys?
person.
Yeah, I identify as a attack helicopter. Do you two
I
remember?
identify as a swizzle stick.
I could see that. I do believe that it was the two of you that I was with, and I don't remember where we were going or what we were doing. It was during COVID, and restaurants were still open. And I believe we went to a Benihana, and we got in there. We didn't stay because they turned out to be really busy because of COVID, and they were only doing every other table or whatever.
Oh
But
yes, I forgot about this until
the
you just said that.
yeah, we
Yeah.
walked in, and a young lady dressed all in black asked us how many, etc. And about that time, another person comes walking up to the uh, seating area, and the young lady turns to them, and you realize, okay, they work here. Um, it was a person, and I believe this person was in a dress and in heels, and full makeup, long hair, pretty hair actually. Um, this person also had a full beard and an Adam's apple, and was clearly biologically a man. And I don't have a problem with that per se, right? Like, I don't care. I would still, if they served my food or whatever, I'd be fine with that, right? But that is a bit confusing to people. And I think that when folks do things like that, if a man is transitioning over to a woman and they present themselves as a woman and they live their life as a woman, or vice versa, a woman is wanting to be a man and does everything they're supposed to do, I will use the pronouns that they prefer at that point, right? If it's a woman who's done the testosterone therapy and all that, has a beard and a deeper voice and everything, I will say he, and vice versa. I have no problems with that, right? But you are confusing and mixing matching elements at this point, right? You're presenting as a woman in your dress and your makeup, but now you're presenting as a man with, your hairy chest and it was an impressive beard. I mean, I like my beard, and this beard made mine look silly. So I, I'm just going to go ahead and say that, in my opinion, it kind of trivializes what actual transgender folks are trying to do, if that makes sense, right? And I mean, we can get into big philosophical conversations about all of it, but sometimes you just have to cut the bullshit and ask yourself, like, what is the societal norm, right? Um,
I'll give you guys my millennial opinion on this.
Go for it.
So, if I'm talking to somebody, right, and I happen to call them the wrong pronoun or a pronoun that they don't prefer or whatever, and then they correct me, and then I then use the correct pronoun, I don't think there's a problem with that. But if you get mad at someone for not reading your mind, that's kind of where I have a problem because like you're not even giving them a chance to like do the right thing. You're just trying to be mad at everybody.
I would agree with that. I think
Well,
that because I'm
it
not going to
doesn't.
just assume everyone is a they, them right off the bat, you know?
Well, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what group, whatever. It we're all still people. There are still shitty people, and there will be people that are just going to make it weird and are determined to fuck everything up for everybody else.
Touche.
So it's like,
This is
No,
true.
it's
if you
right,
want to switch it
regardless.
around, that's cool. But it's like, once you start taking it to extremes just to see how far you can push it,
Right.
you are the person that is fucking it up for everybody else.
Right. And
And
that's
fuck you in
right.
particular. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Fuck
Because
you
it doesn't
in
matter
particular.
what's going on. It doesn't matter if it's free pizza day. Someone can fuck up free pizza day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
We've
true. I
seen
mean,
it
that's true of
actually.
any
We've
group
seen
that's
it.
trying to get or maintain their rights. Like
Mm-hmm.
the guy walking down the street open carrying an AR-15 trying to piss off the
Right.
police
Right.
is fucking it up for all the other responsible gun owners. It's
Absolutely.
like it happens with every group where someone's trying to win or keep their rights or get rights they didn't previously have or whatever. It's always going to be
Well,
some morons because a lot of people are morons.
I
My
think
point
that
precisely.
it's that there are some people out there who just enjoy being confrontational. And when they can find some
No,
sort of
there aren't. Those people don't exist.
I see your troll hair. I think catch 22, right? People love to find things like the gun rights and transgender. They like to find these things that they can cling on to, that if you don't agree with them, they're going to get public support for it, whether they really believe in the cause or um, I think the worst thing in the world, one of the worst things in the world, because there are probably things worse than this, but I have seen where minorities have complained and stated that something bad happened to them because they were a minority. And it's like, no, that bad thing happened to you because you're an asshole or because you're an idiot. It had nothing to do with your ethnic heritage. And when they use that to, defer accountability, you're really just hurting every minority that's ever actually been discriminated against, because now you're filling people's heads with, here we go again. Um, I've heard, I know of people, men, who have had women say that they sexually assaulted them, that things happened that never happened. And then, eventually the truth comes out. Well, I was just mad. Okay, well, not only did you potentially ruin someone's life, but you have, now that all these people know that you lied, in their minds, every time they hear someone say that they were sexually assaulted or that something happened, they remember that. And it it just it makes it worse for everybody else. So it makes you like a triple fuckhead instead of just the normal everyday fuckhead, like there are certain shades of fuckhead. I'd like to think that there are certain shades. Fuckheadism is a spectrum, is what I'm saying, right? Some
There's no
people are
shortage of them. I can tell you
no,
that.
no, and
It's a
that's
broad. It's a
why
broad spectrum.
it's a very broad spectrum. Fuckheadism. It affects 1 in 2 of every person on this planet. So, because 98% of this planet is made up of fucking assholes or morons, either or.
I thought it was water.
Nope, fuckheads all this
Oh, okay.
time.
Writing that
Now, if
down.
we could figure out how to desalinate the fuckheads, we could actually fix a lot of global problems. So, because as you know, most fuckheads do tend to be a little salty.
Well, it's a shame they're not like snails and you just like throw salt at them and they shrivel up and run away.
My God, that would be awesome. I would constantly be armed with a salt grinder and
Oh, they got little
like Morton
guns that
Man.
people use to shoot like flies and shit with. It's a little gun and it
Yeah,
actually shoots salt.
I've
Oh
always
So
wanted
yeah.
one of
I
those. They
would
call them
carry one of
assault
those.
rifles.
Yeah, it's like called bug assault or
Yeah,
some shit like that.
yeah.
And yeah, I would run around with one of those all the fucking time.
Fuck you, slugface. Pow. Yeah, I would actually like to have one of those. So I think it would be fun. I don't know if I'd actually shoot bugs or if I'd just chase the cat around, but I'd still have fun with it.
She'd be so mad.
Well, I'm sensing what Dan's next Amazon purchase is going to be.
You
I
mean
have
what it
not.
just was?
I have not bought anything from Amazon for 2 weeks. Thank you very much. I have been controlling my ADHD fueled impulses. Well, most of them, for the most part, because, you know, I can't beat it. So, but yeah, I've done pretty well actually. So,
You guys want to know what my latest ADHD impulse purchase was?
I do.
So they make this. They make this.
Uh-huh.
It comes in a USB and Bluetooth models. It's a
Oh God.
it's a hardware controller for Premiere and Resolve
Oh
that
yeah.
you can map
Yeah.
all of your controls to. So
Mm-hmm.
easier to use than the keyboard and the mouse. So
Oh yeah,
definitely
I'm
going to be
sure.
more. I'm going to be more
Uh-huh.
productive now because I'm going to have this device.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Yes, sir. That is, in fact, an ADHD inspired impulse buy. I too have done that kind of shit.
So, oh
Those
man,
are
I'm
the.
definitely going to be using this.
Oh, yeah. For a few weeks, maybe. And then it'll collect dust in a drawer, if at all. But the thing is it's going to make you better at this, and then you're going to do it more, and then you're going to get good at it, and it's going to be your thing, right? And that's going to be your thing until it's not, and something else is your thing, right?
You know what
Yeah,
sucks is that Premiere doesn't have motion tracking.
it doesn't.
No. Like you can get like a light version, like a free version of Premiere, and it has it,
Mhm.
but Premiere doesn't have it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, I think you're wrong.
I usually am wrong, but
We're gonna hash this out later. But let me ask you this: what are you doing in Premiere that is that action packed that you need motion tracking?
no, it's not. No. What do you mean?
He's been making bathroom videos for me,
Of you
and
coming?
They're
Of
very
you?
action packed.
they're
Of
very
you
action
coming?
packed, and there's a lot of fluid exchange going on.
Fair
That's the
enough. And you want to be able
closest
to
I've
get, just,
come.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And
ah,
it's like a Michael Bay thing, but
yeah.
splooge.
And it's in
So
bullet time. You gotta have bullet
hang
time
on.
sperm.
So, but by motion tracking, I mean um, moving one thing automatically relative to another thing, like
Hmm.
having an overlay stay with something on the
You can't
shot.
even explain it, and you think that your little doodad's gonna make you better at it.
No, it's not going to do that because Premiere can't do it. But it just
Ah,
sucks that Premiere can't do it. It's a big issue I have. I'm going to write them an email about this.
I think you should.
Well, I'm
I
gonna.
think you should. I
Is it going
think
to
you
be
should.
strongly worded?
Yeah, everything's going to be in bold,
Yeah.
Oh,
strong words.
oh yeah, caps the whole way.
Yeah, caps lock
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
bold, engaged,
and
italics, underline, and strike through.
do not be stingy with the exclamation points.
And there's going to be so much goddamn clip art.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean,
You're going to
how
be on a
else are you supposed
watch
to get
list
25?
somewhere. Is what's going to
I
fucking
mean,
happen.
the worst part is the entire thing is going to be in Comic Sans.
With alternating colors.
or papyrus, either or.
Or the stencil font from like Windows XP. Remember
There
that
you
one?
go.
The
There you go.
stencil.
Now you're getting serious about this. Like now I'm taking you seriously. Before I wasn't, but
So I'm trying to make better shitpost gaming compilations.
see, that's an oxymoron. Like that is an oxymoron. Better shit posts. Those videos are a waste of bandwidth and alien technology. And I swear
Yeah.
to God, if you get any likes on those that aren't your friends, I am giving up technology
You guys
completely.
don't know about my boy Cooper2723.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Uh-huh.
All right. He's good. He's
Uh-huh.
good.
Yeah,
Have you seen his videos?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
some
pops
asshole
off.
keeps sending them to me. So
He pops off, dude. He has a pretty good video of him playing Roblox. It's called "Why Racism Is Bad," and he talks about why why racism
Jesus
is bad.
Christ, Adam.
And he's, yeah.
Is this podcast not bad enough for any future you might have?
What do you
You have
mean?
to-
Oh, yes. I
since
also
you
have to
got-
make shit posts.
That
Yes.
you have to make these shit posts that,
Yes. I'm
just...
putting them on my resume.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with shit posts, they are pretty much exactly what they sound like. It's trolling. It's trash for the sake of annoying people.
I have
And
3 likes on my video, dude.
yeah, and Adam makes them, usually of him gaming, and they're just atrocious.
It's like I'm
I feel...
assaulting your eyes with a video.
Yes,
That's what it is.
I feel dumber after watching them. I feel, I mean, things happen in your life and you think to yourself, wow, that happened and I'm going to have to push through this and get through it. And then some days things happen and you think to yourself, I am never getting that 3 minutes back ever. That 3 minutes is lost to me for the rest of my life. And that's how I feel when I watch your shit post videos.
Well, you're welcome.
Fuck if I don't watch them every time you send them to me.
They're so
God
good.
Damn it.
Well, every
No.
M. Night Shyamalan movie since The Sixth Sense has been that way for me.
Has
That's
given
all I'm
you the
saying.
same sensation of, I am never getting that 90 minutes back. Fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't watch M. Night Shyamalan movies anymore.
I'm aiming high. Look, you see, Doug said my stuff is on par with M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Shyamalan.
See,
Have you ever
I
seen
instantly made it racist.
Have you ever seen Michael Scott from The Office say M. Night Shyamalan?
No.
He's like, I saw this new movie from M. Night Shyamalan, and
Shyamalan. Shyamalan. I was never a big Office fan. It's like one of those things when I see clips from it, I watch them, but just couldn't sit through 30 minutes of it.
it's good. Like, so I watched it when I was like young, and I think the whole pull was like, oh my god, this is what working in an office is like.
Well, to some degree, some of the clips
Because-
I've seen have been slightly accurate. So
Yeah, but I didn't know because I was,
It's
Fair
funny
enough.
in spurts, but it doesn't go
Right.
fast enough for me. I mean, to give you an idea, I've watched some stuff about it because, they have done some funny stuff on there.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But it's like before they started shooting every day, they had the actors running around in the office doing mundane tasks like making copies for no reason, doing that sort of shit. Like literally to get them in the mood for bored as fucking monotonous as hell. And, it's like you can have moments inside that you sort of build up to, but just the rest of it for me is just drudgery.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And awkward humor has never really been my thing. Like that uncomfortable, awkward humor.
Yeah, me
And
neither.
Yeah.
That is exactly
Fuck
what
you,
that.
Adam.
Yeah, I know, right?
I call bullshit
Thank you, Doug.
like right
Thank you.
now.
Thank you, Doug, thank you for protecting my honor there, because it was such bullshit. My brain didn't even comprehend it as being ever even
I tried to
said.
ride along. You guys said I don't like awkward humor. Yeah, me neither. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. This shit
Yeah.
sucks. Yeah.
You have some of the most awkward humor tastes I've
M.
had.
Night Shyamalan fan.
M. Night Shyamalan. He'll send me something and be like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. And I'm watching it and I'm like,
You're like, someone really sat down and made this, huh?
yeah.
I'm like,
And he's over there
it's
just,
funny.
yeah, he's laughing to the point he can't talk, cheeks up to his forehead because he's grinning so hard. I'm like,
How the fuck? Cheek up to my forehead.
yeah, I've seen it. It's usually when you're trying to lie to me, usually. So, or you're trying to pull off a troll and we're face to face and you can't do it. So, see. Now
I
will
can
say,
too. I can too do it.
sure you can. I will say that one of the things that he did turn me on to that I still to this day will quote is the Charlie and Candy Mountain or whatever it is.
Oh, Charlie the Unicorn, yeah.
Yeah. I do still find myself. It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie.
A
So,
magical Leopleurodon. He's like, where the fuck are we?
where's my kidney? Yeah, there's. I admittedly, I did find that funny. Um, I saw something the other day, and I'll run this by you, the two of you, see what you think. It said that there typically people with ADHD tend to have kind of dark, quote unquote, weird senses of humor. And when I saw that, I was like, huh, okay, you have my attention. And the guy says it's because the way that our brains work, when something comes at us, and not Doug, but just something comes at us, then we we're already figuring out the punchline, right?
Yeah, it's like when someone's addicted to porn, they need extreme porn, and when someone's addicted to
Right.
stimulus, they need extreme stimulus.
They need
Yeah,
extreme stimulus. And
yeah.
so when something lands the way it's supposed to, we're like, okay. Yeah, I saw that coming. But when it goes off the rails or it's dark or it's fucked up, that makes us laugh.
Yeah.
Especially if
And
it does all three.
a bingo, right? Bingo. Fucked up humor. And I think that's one of the reasons I was thinking about it. I think that's one of the reasons I like dry humor, is because dry humor is not always as formulaic. Monty Python came to mind, right? And all three of us are big Monty Python fans. And I thought that was really ironic. But yeah, it was just, I've been going down rabbit holes on ADHD lately. And some of the
That
symptoms and
statement
traits
itself is
is,
ironic.
ain't it though?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I just can't
Was that
focus on this rabbit hole I'm going down on ADHD.
right? How fun would that be? I can't study about ADHD. Why? Because I have ADHD. Um, it's funny how people think they understand ADHD and what it is, and it's everything. It's shiny, squirrel, and it's like that can be a symptom for some people, but it's so much more of a mind fuck with things like stimming and under and overstimulation and executive dysfunction. And the more things that I learned, I was like, God damn, okay. But that one was just sort of a fun aside that I got a kick out of when the guy was talking about that. And I think you nailed it on the head, Adam, when you said when you're when you're it's hard to stimulate your brain in a way to jar it from whatever bullshit it's on.
Yeah,
You got to have something, and then once you get
unexpected.
that, right. And I said, okay, as I've always people hate watching movies with me because by the second act, I've already figured out the rest of the movie. And I'm like, well, dude, I mean, most movies are formulaic and they're pretty easy,
I was
and
watching I was watching Pearl, that movie.
mm-hmm,
So I watched two movies, and my buddy was watching Pearl with me because he really liked it,
mm-hmm,
and he was like, "Dude, you got to watch this. It's the prequel to that one." So I was watching it, and like I knew exactly what was about to happen as soon as like a shot would start. I'm like, "Oh,
mm-hmm.
dude, look at that thing right there. They're about to fuck." And he's like, "What the fuck? How do you know that?" I'm like, "Because movies are formulaic."
Because movies are formulaic. But the thing is what we don't realize having ADHD, living with ADHD, is that it's not for everyone because not everyone is ADHD. A lot of people like to say they are, but they're not. And then there are people that just clearly are not, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but to them, it's not as formulaic as it is to certain people, to other people. And ADHD presents itself completely different in people. All three of us have ADHD and we all three have some similarities, some things we do the same, but then it manifests in all three of us. The stronger symptoms manifest completely different in all three of us, you know? And I
Yeah.
was thinking about the fact that I was like, God damn, most of my friends are ADHD. But
yeah,
that makes sense. The more I read about it and the more I understand it, that makes complete sense because Other people think we're fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
fuck
they
those people
think
in particular.
I
they
mean,
think
that's
we're weird. We're
well,
not
they
weird. They
think
think we are.
no, we're totally not weird, but they think we're weird. And I'm with Doug. Like, the more I learn, the less like I have ADHD, dude. I mean, doctors don't understand it, psychiatrists don't understand it. There's a gajillion fucking theories, from trauma to brain chemistry to fucking malformed brains to dopamine receptor problems. They don't have a fucking clue. And I can't
Oh,
take
even one
good.
that goes to sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
I've seen that in you though.
well. See, well, here is a really fucked up thing. Some shit that you would not expect that would cause a thing. All right. Um, my name is Doug, so I'm going to go around the world to get there. I'm saying that up front for anybody that's sitting there listening, going, "All
If
right,
this is your
quit
first
circling
episode,
Yeah,
and
right,
get to the
exactly.
fucking point." All
Long
right.
story short, 3 hours later.
In it one of the theories is that the rise of ADHD and attention deficit disorder went along with industrialized civilization, but not for the reason that you would think. When industrialized civilization came along and they started, uh, it's feeding babies, things that were specifically made for them. You had baby food, you had formula, you had whatever else. Um, Prior to that, if you start looking at human skulls,
Mm-hmm.
prior to the invention of sugar
Baby,
becoming real big, the whole
yeah,
nine
baby
yards,
foods and things like that.
right? They had wider jaws, and all of their teeth came in properly.
Mm-hmm.
And where that affected it actually affected the breathing, and it specifically affects breathing when you sleep. Um, so that if a child who has attention deficit disorder problems, there have been cases where they've gotten them orthodontic work very early on, like 4, 5, 6 year old. They started to widen out their jaw so all of their teeth would come in properly. And as a weird side effect, they got better sleep and were able to pay attention better in school.
So I would not. That's one of those things that I wouldn't doubt, right? And I know a lot of people would shit on a theory like that, but why the fuck not? I mean, we don't
It
know.
was, and it specifically went to when children are young, and as soon as they got off of breastfeeding and they started eating normal foods. Prior to industrialized civilization, they were eating whatever was around, and it was really working their jaw muscles,
Mm-hmm.
and it would expand their palate out.
Mm-hmm.
speaking of breastfeeding, if there's any moms out there that are still producing, let me know.
If they want to test this theory, maybe.
Yeah, I want to see what's going on with this ADHD thing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That was an interesting point to pull from it, but hey, we'll roll with it.
Yeah, that's. I've heard that breast milk is like very thick and sweet. So I've been told.
Just like my women, just like the women I like, thick and sweet.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can get it in different grades like you can with cow's milk, because it would be
2%.
interesting to see heavy whipping cream breast milk.
Oh, that'd be if she was dehydrated, like if she hadn't had enough water that
Maybe.
day.
It comes out like heavy whipping cream.
Yeah, it's just thicker.
Or maybe it's what goes in has something to do with what comes out. Maybe you feed her a lot of butter or hay. I don't fucking know.
I'm sorry I mentioned it now.
Yeah,
Feed her hay. That's just weird.
Yeah. Well, cows eat hay.
Feed
They
her
make great
hay.
milk.
But
Hey,
they're
baby.
not cows.
Hey,
They're
baby.
people.
Here's some
See,
hay.
I can throw out dumb misogynistic shit. I mean, if Doug fucked around and found out.
I wouldn't doubt the sleep thing though. That actually makes a lot of sense because I mean it's like one of the last things that medicine doesn't really know much about is like sleep and like why we need it.
And sleep and mental illness, So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it would make sense. And I can say this from knowing Doug a long time and even from living with Doug is that I know when Doug's not sleeping well because his ADHD cranks up. And specifically, it's the H part. And now, when I say hyperactive, I don't mean that Doug's running around, with his shirt off, screaming obscenities at cows or
While I'm
whatever.
snorting pixie sticks and shit.
Yeah, that's not what he does. But you can tell his brain is running faster than he can categorize everything as it's coming at him. And that creates one of several experiences with Doug. One is that he sits there and cracks himself up, but you'll never know what he's laughing about because he never finishes a fucking sentence before moving on to yet another sentence.
I
The
love that. I've been that
other,
tired before.
the other, but it's like it's not that normal exhaustion giddiness, The other side that you will see to Doug when the H in ADHD begins to ramp up is he gets mean. And he gets mean. He gets very sharp tongued, right? And it's on those days that I will usually ask him, Doug, how have you been sleeping lately? And that's when I'll find out my back's been hurt and I haven't been sleeping the last couple days. And people can say, well, yeah, I mean, everybody gets grumpy if they don't sleep. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I do. But this is a very specific type of behavior that you can tell. It's really very interesting. Um, and
People don't get it. It's part of, and Dan has some of this as well. And Dan has it for different reasons in different circumstances than I do. But there are things that I tend to be hyper aware of about people. Dan
mm-hmm,
is more situational
mm-hmm,
awareness, looking for where the threat is
mm-hmm.
going to come from. Mine's kind of like it's like looking at gemstones. I look in it and I can see the flaws. And when I am in the state that Dan is describing, the last thing you want to do is fuck with me because I will cut you through the core down to the bone to where you're going to have moments of reflection later on where you
I,
feel horrible
I've
about
seen it.
yourself.
I've seen it. And what's funny is that because Doug is usually a pretty even keeled and fun guy, um, most people just they'll laugh, but you can tell that they're like, what just happened? It's like, yeah, you just got Dugged.
You just got dugged.
And what's funny though is that Adam is the same way in the sense of situational, being able to see things a little differently than other people. There's been a few times where he's, we'll be talking about something. He'll say, yeah, but, and he'll drop something on me and I go, fuck, I didn't even think of it like that. And I pride myself. Something, another thing I was reading about ADD is that, which, by the way, did you guys know that they no longer diagnose people with ADD? It's all ADHD now. And the reason that they used to do that is because some people did not present as quote unquote hyperactive. So for some folks, they dropped that. And now they've come to realize that people with ADHD will have that hyperactive symptom, but it presents differently in everybody, which I thought was kind of interesting. I still say ADD sometimes just because it's quicker and
I
easier,
was
but
diagnosed with subtract when I was a child.
with what would that be, with minus, with MINUS?
Yes, with
Yeah.
the yeah.
Yeah, it did, minus a fucking brain and a personality. It basically said there was a thing that said that people with ADD tend to be a little arrogant, um, but like humble / lacking self-esteem at the same time. And that was another one. It was a little hard for me to accept at first, but then I realized that I am a bit arrogant at times. Um, Usually it's when I look at someone and cock my head and think, you're a fucking moron, aren't you? You know, it's like, yeah, that's kind of an arrogant thing to do or say.
But
But
some people are just morons, to
see,
be
that's the
fair.
thing too, right? Is that, am I being arrogant or am I simply being observational?
Well, let's look at this like comedians and artists. All right. Most of your best comedians, artists, whatever else, they're neurodivergent.
Yes.
Um, so they're different, so they see things differently.
Yes.
So if you're neurotypical, you're less likely to stand out.
Yes.
Most of people that excel in this, that, or the other thing have something fucking wrong with them. I mean,
True
if
story.
like and when I say this, I'm not shitting on Elon Musk and I'm not praising Elon Musk, but go back, watch it, the SNL special or the SNL episode with him on it, and watch that man try to do fucking humor. He just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
He has no timing whatsoever. And it's pretty widely known, or I guess it's Cartman would say that he's got Asperger's.
Asperger's.
Yeah, he's got Asperger's, and he has a problem processing that humor like everyone else does, but
Yeah.
that affects other areas of his life. And while he may not be, it's like some people were treating this man like a god, like he was the visionary of the future, like
Mm-hmm.
he was taking Steve Jobs' place or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a whole thing around
He was
that. But
taking Steve's job.
yeah, there you wah wah wah. That was good. That was good.
Crickets.
But the return of the crickets.
Return of the cricket. I think that's one of the things that happened to Elon Musk in the public eye, is that there were so many people that thought they had him figured out and that he was this, genius, awesome, whatever. And then when he turned around and kind of showed an ugly side, that gets amplified too. I mean, when you think about like his work ethic and, hey, you're going to sleep in the offices of Twitter with me and we're going to work 10 days a week and everything else. And everybody's like, oh, this slave driving motherfucker. And, and all that. No, he has Asperger's, people.
Slave
His
driving
brain,
runs in his family, though.
well, fair enough.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, maybe they all had Asperger's. I don't know.
His, his, his parents who had the slave labor emerald mine, maybe they
Yeah.
just had Asperger's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they served him up every Sunday for.
Yeah. Slavery isn't real. It's just a mental condition. It's a mental
It's a
illness.
mindset, yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't their fault. They couldn't help it. Yeah, I think that if you think about those types of people and the way that they work and how they focus on things, it's how he is. And like most of us, we think that how we are is how everyone is. And truth is that's very rarely the case, right? I mean, but you do forget that a lot of times. I think one of the more semi-prolific things that Adam ever said to me was, we were talking about social media and I was just irritated with the world because there was just so much stupidity out there. And Adam says, man, you got to remember, he says, what you're hearing is the minority. He said, you're not a raging asshole. with a bunch of stupid opinions, are you? And I was like, well, I don't think so. And he says, and you're not out there just ranting and raving about every little thing on social media, are you? And I was like, well, no, that would be stupid. And he's like, aha, and that made me realize that I think everyone's like me, and that,
And they don't say it, so then the only people saying stuff are the fucking morons.
right. And that took me a little bit of time to process, that not
It's like
everyone,
the reviews for a restaurant. Nobody goes on and leaves a review and everything went okay.
Very rarely. Rarely. And that's why I take negative reviews with a grain of salt,
I leave reviews when everything went great, but that's, it depends on like before I go somewhere. If I've never been there, well, I check the ratings. Yes. And it's one of those things, if that location doesn't have a lot of reviews and I really enjoy the experience there,
mm-hmm.
I will put in a positive review and then put stuff in there to sort of help it along. But am I going to review something that has 2,100 reviews on it? No, they don't need my review. But
well, my question is this: do you leave a review when it just goes okay?
If it just goes okay, well, it kind of depends, because if I go in a place and they've got, and I just go in and I sit down and I eat a cheeseburger and it's an unremarkable cheeseburger or what have you. No, not really. But if I go in there, the food's good or the service is really good, if there's something kind of standoutish about that experience, or it's a type of place that I would enjoy going back to, I want those people to have more business. But would I do that for everybody? No.
So that means that for the most part, and most people are probably like Doug, and that you're really only getting the extreme in one direction or the other. Either someone was completely blown away or someone hated it. So
Bingo.
actually, that means that you're in the middle situations are either going to disappoint most people because it wasn't a 5-star and based on what they thought 5 stars should be, or it's going to impress people because it wasn't a 1-star like other people left. So the moral of the story is we need to give more 3-star reviews that say meh.
It's a fucking cheeseburger. What do you want me to say? That's my next Google review.
It's a cheeseburger.
They make food. It forms turds.
Right. I told someone once that I very rarely leave 5-star reviews, and she got mad at me because she had a company that, and she's like, well, that's just being a dick. And I'm like, no, 5 stars is above and beyond. I mean, 3 stars is average, 4 stars is fucking good, and 5 stars is like, you blew me the fuck away. So no, I don't.
Or you just blew me.
Or you just blew me, and it would be very unlikely for me to leave you a bad review, at least in the first 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You know what I mean? After that, the review might be, oh my God, I shouldn't have done this. This was, oh no, I have to leave.
Now I'm hungry. I have to order some more food.
Yeah, moral of the story is it was a fucking cheeseburger. It's 3 stars. What more do you want from me? I think that's what we take away from everything here. That, and if you fuck around, you will in fact probably find out. Let